There
Welcome.
she
My
is.
apologies. Can you see me? So my first question is going to be for Jamil Massey, who is an experienced Toastmaster. We just came off of our open house. As our president, tell me your intention for this club this year in 2 minutes or less.
For this Toastmaster year, my intention is to help people continue to build their confidence as a speaker and also as a leader. Toastmasters International gives the platform, gives the curriculum and all types of different content for us to be able to use to speak and practice with our speaking, different forms of it. But me as the president, I want to make sure I help with the culture, with the environment, any small but important things that we can do to help it be more of a place for people to be able to come and instigate great conversation, instigate laughs, instigate happy times, happy smiles, whether they're virtual and in person. We want to give a chance for people to learn and grow and build that confidence. Public speaking is still one of the #1 greatest fears, even though some who have overcome that fear make it seem easy, right? Some people, like myself, tend to ramble and have no problem speaking. Their problem is shutting up. Should I say my problem is sometimes, but I want to create that environment where people are able to get a little bit more comfortable. They don't have to love it. They don't have to speak professionally and go to different schools and organizations or do different presentations. But when it's time for them to speak in whatever format that is, if they're a sales associate and they're trying to make a presentation to a customer, if they're a project manager and they're trying to present their information or their project work to their manager or to their team, I want to help people to build that confidence. Then when it comes to leadership, I also want to give people opportunities and chances and encourage them to lead, because different people have different leadership styles, and I want to help them intentionally embrace their own leadership style. So that's my intention for this Toastmaster year. Thank you for that question, Madam Table Topics Master.
All right, family, I am back. Sorry about that. My boss was calling me. Next up, I'm going to call on Asil. Is that how you say it? Asil?
Yep.
Hi, Asil. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My question to you. What is, when you walk into a Toastmasters arena, what is the type of Toastmasters club experience you were looking for? I'm going to say that because I flubbed it. As you walk into a Toastmasters meeting, what is the experience that you're looking for, and how can we help you achieve that experience?
Well, thank you for your question, Sonia. I'll be honest, when I first joined Toastmasters, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. I've heard about Toastmasters from work, from different people, but I've only heard about that it helps with public speaking. That's all I knew. I did not know what these meetings are about, what happens during these meetings, or what kind of support do you get. When I joined, I was very positively surprised at the amount of support that everyone provides, at the amount of knowledge that people have, and at the amount of confidence and skills that everyone shows. So, to put it simply, I joined with open heart. I did not join with anything in particular in mind, but my experience has been amazing. On top of everything that I mentioned, I think it's fun. We are a bunch of really skilled, fun people here, and I really genuinely enjoy joining these meetings. Maybe a one-on-one with a colleague would be something that I would be looking for, as far as maybe they can pinpoint to me some areas that were beneficial to them, or some even points that I should be working on. If there's one thing to add to these meetings, that would be it. But anything other than that, everything has been great, and I'm thankful for that.
Thank you for that feedback. Everybody, round of applause for Seal. I hope I said it correctly. Now on call to the table, our Vice President of Education, Debbie Tertinger. It says on your Toastmasters flash sheet, the role for the VPE is strategic planning. Debbie, tell me how you are thinking strategically of how to move our club in the DCP program. In DCP meaning Distinguished Club Program for those who are new. Debbie.
Thank you for that very thoughtful question. I am a new VPE, so I am learning, and I've attended a few training sessions already, and each time I go, I feel like I have a better understanding of the expectation. In fact, just last night or over the weekend, I was thinking about Valencia because she had progressed on to level 1, and we congratulate her, and I was trying to figure out how to print out a certificate. And so as I did that, I could see all the data from our club, and it looked like our members are all kind of just lockstep at the beginning stages of their pathway. And it made me think, there was a few that were out there like yourself and Valencia that are just achieving a whole lot, and it made me think, how can the rest of us, you know, be encouraged to take on more speeches and keep moving. I'm on pathway, I'm on my presentation mastery pathway, and I've been here like two and a half years, and I'm like one of those examples of somebody that's going at a snail's pace. So I need to speed up myself and everybody else, and I think I would just encourage us all, just start. And we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be like a contest type speech, but it can just be one where we are growing and learning and practicing and getting better every time we do it. So I hope that answered your question. And I'm always open to suggestions if anyone has thoughts and examples how other VPEs have done that. I am, you know, wide open and willing to learn. So thank you.
Fantastic. And what she said, she's going to lead by example, and that's all we can do, family, is lead by example. Speaking of leaders, David Jones is in the house. He is actually Division C director. David, I have a question for you. Toastmasters is where leaders, and I like to say where communicators are made. Tell us how you rose as a leader in Toastmasters, and be inspirational, because we know we have lots of leaders on the line today.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. And it sounds like you're instigating me by saying that we have leaders online. So, but for me, when I started Toastmasters 3 years ago, I remember sitting in the room watching the Toastmaster of the Day walk around. And I was like, I will never, ever be Toastmaster of the Day. And then the president was very articulate and motivating. And I was like, I will never, ever be president of a club. And pretty much everything I said I would never do, I've done. Once I became president of Queen City and officer roles in different clubs, then came the area director, which I thought I would never do, because some of you know Freddie Barber. I remember him as area director, and he has a very strong presence, and I was like, well, I'll never ever be an area director, but I became an area director, now division director. But Toastmasters has helped me outside of Toastmasters, because I make sure I'm one of those self-promoters. Everybody at my company, including my CEO, knows what I do as far as Toastmasters or college or anything. And I actually got a promotion about a month ago because of my Toastmasters, being able to train employees and run meetings. But I think that Toastmasters, most people associate it with just public speaking, but it is also leadership roles that you never thought you'd be able to be involved in or you would do. But eventually, as you see things happen, or what everybody's famous for at Toastmasters is being voluntold to do something. And that's how I became area director and division director, as I didn't want to do it, but here I am. And I'm glad that I was voluntold to do it, because it's given me skills that I need for life. Back to you, Master or Table Topics Master.
I love that. And what David just said is trust the process and do it anyway. And he got a promotion out of it. The sky is the limit. And so now I'm going to call on Jasmeet. Is that how I say it? Jasmeet?
Yes, that's correct.
Hi, Jasmeet. My question for you.
Mhm.
Based on what you've heard today, what's your why for Toastmasters? Because you can see everyone comes to Toastmasters for a different reason, but what's your why?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics, for the question. So just to give you all a background, that coming from a country where English is not a primary language of communication, to US and getting a job here in a corporate world where it demands you to talk in front of, a wide audience. And just for your information, I work for Bank of America as a business analyst, and that requires me to run some meetings, do presentations, and giving a speech or public speaking has always been very intimidating for me. And my husband is the one to be blamed that I'm here today. I joined Toastmaster because he did that way along, I think maybe 6 or 7 years back. And he instigated me into joining Toastmaster. And here I am today. And I'm so happy that I did that. I did go ahead and join. Because I'm so inspired by all the great speakers here, and they're so supporting and motivating that I feel like I have a long way to go, but I'm happy that I'm here today. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, next up is going to be Tim. Tim is in the room, as we say. Tim, if you're ready, give me a hootie hoo.
I can do it.
Fantastic. Tim, hi, my name is Sonia. My question for you, based on the experience you've had thus far, tell me your 1-minute commercial for the Toastmasters experience. Based on what you've experienced thus far, based on what you've heard thus far, what would be your Toastmaster commercial or jingle? Sing for us. You can even
Well,
rap
thanks for that question or that commercial, 1 minute. First of all, hopefully I raise about $500,000 for this 1 minute commercial. So I can put it back into Toastmasters to promote it to the media, through publications, any other media outlet to get more people involved in Toastmasters. What I've experienced last meeting and the 15 minutes this meeting was it's very regimented, so it's easy to follow. People are very helpful, friendly, and enthusiastic about achieving not only their own goals, but helping out everyone else achieve what they're here for too. I do believe I can learn a lot more in the coming time. I'm still learning the terminology per se and trying to catch up, but sometimes you guys are going a little bit too quick. So I think one of the things we have to do is to slow down at the beginning and make sure we all understand what the word of the day is. I tried to Google my dictionary. I couldn't spell it correctly. I didn't see it come across the board yet. So hopefully we get that so I can put that in my notes and keep that for further reference so I know what the words mean in the dictionary, so I can use it moving forward in my speaking publicly, not only here, but as what I do every day at work. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love that. A call to action for us as OGs here in Southpark. Number one, slow down our pacing. New members want an opportunity to connect with us and connect to what's happening in the meeting. Someone is also looking for that one-on-one mentorship. But in that experience, we've heard today during our table topic session that everyone has a voice, that your voice is important, and we want to hear it. And that's what we celebrate here in Southpark Toastmasters, the the beauty of your voice. We believe that the words that you use are the breadcrumbs of your soul, and we want to get to know each and every one of you, and we want you to blossom as the leaders and communicators we know that you can be. So with the help of the team here, welcome. We want to see your faces again, especially you, Tim, who's in the room with us. Thank you for coming back. Keep coming back. Trust the process and do it anyway. And we look forward to your icebreakers very, very soon. And with that, I will turn it back over to our Toastmaster of the day, unless he has a question for me. I'm willing to play.
Yes, of course. Great question. When it's cold outside, what do you do to instigate a fun time for you and your family?
I love that question. As a child, during Christmas time, I would write plays, and I would force my brothers and my sisters to act a play with me. I was a budding playwright as a child. So when I'm with my family on cold days, especially in Alabama when it snows, that means we're on lockdown. We're on lockdown. It's like our own little pandemic when it snows, because you can't go anywhere. We would love to play games and just make up stories and build. How many of you have built a fort with tables and chairs? That was fun. So for me, when it's cold outside, it's a great opportunity to connect with your family, your friends, using your imagination, because the sky's the limit in your imagination, but also taking the time to interact with one another, to be intentional about wanting to know what's your why. Like here in Toastmasters, we try to find out what's your why, because that's going to drive your Toastmaster experience. When you tell us your why, not everybody wants to be a DTM. Then maybe you want to be better at public speaking during a pitch for your job, or maybe you just want to be comfortable with networking. In those meetings, just like this community, like my family, when it's cold outside, what's your why? Let me get to know you, because when we leave here, I'm going to empower you to do what you want to do, but I can't unless I talk to you and understand what you have to say. So for me, when it's cold outside, I want to talk to my family, because the cable's out in Alabama because of ice. You ain't nothing to do but eat and talk. So connection. That's what I like to do when it's cold outside. So thanks for letting me answer a question. And we shouldn't say back to you, they tell me in Toastmasters. So Toastmasters.
Thank you. I will take the virtual microphone. Great answer to that question. And thank you all for participating in our table topics segment. Such great energy, great answers, and just great participation. So for the word of the day, thank you for that great question, Tim. And it's a great reminders to sometimes we just go too fast and we need to slow it down. The word of the day is just an interesting word that we try to insert into our meeting to be able to give you a word to work into whatever mini speech that you may be giving. You may be giving a prepared speech, or you may be giving a table topics. And so it's really just in the context of the Toastmaster meeting to where a word of the day is selected, and we just give credit to those people who at the end of each meeting, when the reporting is done, we just keep track of it. The grammarian keeps track of it and just say, you'll hear it in a few minutes when I give a report on the grammarian, our uhs and ums. I also will give an update on how many times the word of the day was used. But it's basically just as you're speaking, it's like, oh yeah, let's see if I can creatively work this word of the day into my speech. That's all it is. But thank you for reminding us that, we need to explain that, So great job. Okay, now let's move on to the second half of our meeting, which is going to be done by our general evaluator. Let's give Debbie a warm welcome, virtual welcome, and in person. Take it away, Debbie Tertinger.
Thanks so much, Jamil. And at this time, we would evaluate speeches, but like we said, we don't have any, and maybe next week we will. But I would like to call on our timer and our grammarian to give us reports on the various things they were looking at. And I will call on our grammarian first, and I believe that was Jamil. So can you please give us a report on how we spoke and our filler words and our use of that word instigate?
Yes, thank you, Debbie. For the word instigate, I guess I had an unfair advantage because I came up with it, so I can use it a lot easier. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. But I used it 4 times today. I will have everyone know 4 times. And Asil used it. And Jasmeet used it once. And that's all I had. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody else who may have used it?
David Jones.
Did I miss David? How did I miss David? Yeah, Instigator. It's right here in my note. See, here's a tip. Okay, when you write down notes, use them, read them and use them. Okay, 2 tips: make it legible and then use them. Okay, it says right here, David Jones instigated, and it's right there. So great job with that. Okay, as far as filler words, I think I had a couple early on once I was getting warmed up. Asil, I only heard 2 ums and what, one, not what, one, Debbie, I didn't hear any from you. David, I didn't hear any from you. Jasmeet, I didn't hear any from you. Tim, only heard 3 uhs. Sonia, I didn't hear any from you. So pretty clean today. Pretty clean today. Great job, all. All right. With that, I will turn it back over to our general evaluator.
Thanks, Jamil. Great report. Now we'll go to our timer, and our timer is Valencia, and Valencia is going to talk to us about the time frames that we tried to keep to.
Thank you, Debbie. If we were in a table topics contest, everyone who spoke would qualify. Woo!
Hey.
Everyone spoke within the time frame for at least 1 minute. So great job, everyone. Jamil, you spoke for 1 minute, 48 seconds. Asil, 1 minute, 47 seconds. Debbie, 1 minute, 57 seconds. David, 1 minute, 45 seconds. Jasmeet, 1 minute, 25 seconds. Tim, 1 minute, 30 seconds. And Sonia, 1 minute, 40 seconds.
Thank you. Perfect report, and good for everybody for staying in the time frame. So with that, I'm going to move on to a couple comments about our meeting. And I want to say, last week, David gave us great feedback. He said we need to have the Toastmaster sign visible, and it is visible. Valencia, got that on her screen, and it is there, and awesome job. And then it's also outside at the library, outside on our door as well. So I think that was really a great point, just to be visible with our, with our branding. The other thing that Jamil was, I think when we don't have speeches, we have some extra time at our meetings. And I think that what is a great way for us to use those meetings, and there's always teachable moments. And I commend Jamil for talking about the contest and trying to help us understand the contest. He shared that the dates are coming up. He shared that, there's different ways you can participate. And so that was really helpful to me. I'm not a new member, but I've never done a contest. So it was really helpful to understand how that would work. I like that, he said you start off in your club and you compete that way. And then you may move on to, bigger arenas for your competition. So I thought that was great. And it made me think, in the future, how can we use those chunks of time we have to help educate, just teachable moments, and pathways might be a way, or, creative things that other clubs have done when they have their meetings too. I think I did notice on, maybe it was District 37, that website, which has lots of great resources. I think there's going to be, on the 20th, there's going to be a demo of a meeting, a club meeting. Maybe you saw that, and I thought that would be fascinating to watch. I've been to a lot of meetings, but it's great to see how other clubs do it as well, which reminds me of David's club, and he is our sister club leader, and he invites everyone on Tuesday nights to his club. You can go virtually or you can go in person, and that's another awesome opportunity to meet more people, hear more speakers, and also see how another club operates. So we'll have to encourage all of us to attend some of those meetings. Sonia did a great job with the table topics. She instigated lots of thought. She, her questions were personal for each of us, but also content related to Toastmasters. So I thought, I loved hearing everybody's answers. It was kind of like a little job interview, and it just made me just really be curious about people's answers and their thoughts. So great job, Sonia. Other than that, I think I've already suggested things maybe we could try to do to make use of our time, and everybody did a great job. I think we're a very creative group, and we don't mind trying to do things in a different way, which I think makes things fun. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jamil, our Toastmaster.
Great job, Debbie. Thank you for the thorough evaluation. And, that is one of the benefits of having a meeting that is not so jam-packed. You do have a little bit more breathing room to be able to slow down and explain things a little bit more thoroughly and to get a better understanding. Also, we can have questions asked periodically as questions come up. It allows a lot more flexibility to be able to teach, to learn more about how Toastmasters work, and also to improve on getting better at those things. So thank you. Great evaluation, general evaluation there, Debbie. All right. That's all that I pretty much had. I didn't have a lot of things to fill the time with. I want to leave a little bit of room for David. You always have many things that you have on your mind and have experienced, and sometimes you have updates. So David, do you have anything you want to discuss before we conclude our meeting?
Yeah, I just wanted to expand on what Deborah was saying for the newer members, that there is the sister club is Queen City and Southpark. And when you join Southpark, you get to come to Queen City and do roles, give speeches. And then we also get to come to your club, and it is on Tuesday night. It's hybrid. So Tim or any of the newer members, and the long-term member, if you want to come tomorrow night, we are hybrid. It's in Plaza Midwood, and it's a good time. So it's just a little different time. It's at night, but it's a good time for you to do it. And then also what Debbie was touching on was the club demos. Whenever a corporation, for instance, wants to start their own Toastmasters, we give them a demo. And actually the training is tonight. It's at 6 o'clock. Anybody can do it. And basically you just are doing what we're doing here. You're part of the meeting. And it's just a fun way to get out and do different things with the district and just kind of show your skills, whether it's a timer or table topics master. But if you go to the district calendar, which is d37toastmasters.org, you will see a link to the training tonight at 6 o'clock. Back to you, Mr. Jamil.
Jamil,
Great.
can I add one thing?
No, you
Jamil?
cannot. I'm just kidding. Yes, Debbie, of course you can.
It was on my list, but I want to say it again. I want to congratulate Valencia on reaching level 1 of her pathway. And we sent out an email, and when we see you in person, we have a certificate for you, and it's persuasive influence is the name of the pathway. She's been a member since 2017, and she has 3 pathways that she's working on. And so we just want to congratulate her and recognize her for that hard work, and it helps our club at the same time. So thanks, Valencia.
Great job, Valencia. Great job. Also, we have a new member induction that's going to be slated for December the 5th. We're going to use that meeting where we talk about, from a Toastmaster standpoint, what is the expectation for new members. So you get a chance to drink the Kool-Aid, as we say. There might be Kool-Aid on site. We have to explore that. It's been a while since I had some Kool-Aid. But anyway, we'll go through that. It's an official induction of new members as you're joining the club. It's only takes a few minutes to kind of go through it. So we'll do that as a part of our regular meeting on December the 5th at 12 o'clock. And so I just want to make sure if our new members are able to join on that particular date, that's when you'll be officially recognized as members of the club. We've done it through email, but the more we can just, support you guys, the better. So that is going to be on December 5th. And since we do have a few minutes, we may have a chance to see the championship, championship speech the championship speech. Since we were talking about speech competitions, I believe Valencia may have access to be able to show that and share that. So you guys have an idea on what is this? They said something about a competition. They said something about, I'm sure it has to do with speaking. So let's take a few minutes to watch. And it's only, is it 3 hours still, Valencia? Is that how long the speech is? Is it 3 hours?
It's a 5 to 7 minute speech.
It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. So perfect. So we'll take a few minutes. We'll take 5 to 7 minutes, however long the speech is, and we'll still be able to end the call early. So Valencia, I will give you there it is. Give you a chance to share your screen, and we'll enjoy this speech to see how it's done.
Just thumbs up if you can hear it.
Cyril Junior Dim. Ndini. Ndini Cyril Junior Dim.
Thank you, Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
I love that the contest chair sounds more Zimbabwean than I do. In Zimbabwe, we speak Shona. And in this beautiful language, we have a very important word that I'd like to share with you today. In Shona, we say Ndini. 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 Try it. Beautiful. It means, this is me. In my language, we have one word for this very important phrase. This is me. Ndini. This word is special for me now, but growing up, I wasn't always comfortable with who I was. You see, even though I grew up in Zimbabwe, my middle name was a long, winding, complicated Nigerian name, because my father, whom I never knew, was Nigerian. Now, yes, I may know a Nigerian prince or two, but back then, I didn't want a Nigerian name. I wanted a cool name, like Martin Luther King Jr. or Contest Chair. The other kids would make fun of me. They said my name was useful as a password. They called my middle name memorably forgettable. They said my middle name was a curse from black magic. I hated my name. Have you ever hated something about yourself? I would argue with Mom. I would be so mad at her. You gave me this name. You did this to me. And now everybody makes fun of me because I'm different. And my mom would look at me and say, but son, that name is who you are. It's special. You know, your middle name means that what God has done, no man can change. And I said, Mom, man has changed many things. Okay, look at Chihuahuas. That used to be a wolf. I'm pretty sure I can change my name. And I did. As soon as I turned 18, I had my middle name removed from all my documents. It became my best kept secret. And I've not said that name once ever since. Before I knew it, it was 2018 and I'd landed in college, not in Zimbabwe, not even in Africa, but in the heart of Eastern Europe. It was clear who grew up in the snow and who grew up in the sand. I had never been this different before. The fly in the milk. It felt like I had taken 1 step forward and 10 steps backwards. But then I met Nick, another fly in the milk, but from Congo. He's got the African boy swag, you know, low, deep voice, speaks very slowly. He's like Mufasa, but in slow motion. We're in the library one day and Nick drops his ID. And like a good friend, I pick it up and proceed to read it out loud, including his full name, Nicholas Rolling Suini Bitumi. I say, dude, let's say your name 3 times and see what happens. But I knew exactly how those words must have felt. But Nick was ready. I have never met anybody with my name. 'Twas a gift from my grandfather, and I like it. And we laughed, and we got kicked out of the library. But in my heart, I was 18 again, seeing in Nick what I didn't have for myself: acceptance. And for the first time, I started looking around and I realized we're all different. Even Nick was different. But he wasn't just different, he was special because he accepted himself. And for the first time in a long time, I wanted to accept myself too. I looked myself in the mirror and said, Ndini, this is me. I know that many of you out there at some point in your life have felt uncomfortable being who you are. Maybe it was your name. Maybe it was the family you came from. Maybe it was the school you went to. Maybe you were tall. Maybe you were short. Maybe you have wrinkles, freckles. Maybe you have scars. I know that some of you out there know what it is to be different. And even if you don't feel it, I'm sure you know somebody who does. You are beautifully you. The only you. And no man can change that. So let me invite you to make this very important word a part of your language. Ndini. This is me. For my friends here in Nashville and the thousands watching from home, say it with me. This is me. Ndini. Beautiful. I haven't had the courage to officially reclaim my name. But here, today, I think we can make a step in the right direction. I was born Cyril Jr. Uche Chukwumere Dim. And this is me. Ndini.
That's how it's done, folks. All you have to do is beat him and then you'll be a winner. So, but that was very well done. You can tell definitely so many different things that we discuss periodically through our different meetings. You can see the pauses, that he's intentional about allowing time and space for people to either laugh or for him to transition to his next point. He used a lot of body language. Obviously, he inserts humor, and very well done. Very well done. So obviously very well done. He won the championship. So that's that speech. But before we conclude, I see Ron K has joined. Ron K, are you still up for doing our invocation? Or are you at the beach as it shows on your profile picture? She may have stepped away. So we'll sign her up for next week then if she stepped away. All right, I'm not going to keep us any longer than we have to. I'm glad you guys were able to join. Thank you all and have a great rest of the week. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.